for this wonderful event, for the opportunity to join all of you in watching this long-awaited historical biopic on the life of one of not just Bangladesh's father of the nation, but a man whom my Prime Minister described as India's hero as well, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. This is truly an important film because it is correctly said that half the battle about learning from history is to learn what happened and to pass it on to subsequent generations. Those of us who were old enough to be around in 1971, admittedly not many of us were of adequate age to remember enough of it, are vested with the responsibility of taking that story on to subsequent generations. And the story of Bangladesh cannot be told without the story of the Mohanaya of that epic struggle, which is Bangabandhu. That story, ladies and gentlemen, is one that is hard to imagine without recognizing the remarkable journey that the man made, that his family made, and that the people of Bangladesh made in the short span of a few decades, in recognizing their sense of identity, in recognizing the values that defined the Bangla-speaking people, in recognizing the opportunity to create history based on certain larger fundamental values. It is also important for me here to specially point out the remarkable role, first of all, in the production of this film. Munadi has already told you about the bi-governmental nature of the project, but the special role of Her Excellency Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina herself. From the outset, she took this project to heart as a story that she wanted to be personally associated with. So right down to the screenplay, to the narrative, to the contextualizing of it, this film literally has been poured over word by word by the Prime Minister herself. I can tell you, Sham Babu himself told us when we were in Dhaka, we had the great good fortune to host him a couple of times, how much he had valued understanding every nuance of the conversations of the family, every moment that he had to picturize. It could only have been made a truly meaningful biopic because of the involvement of the family. And in acknowledging Her Excellency the Prime Minister's very special role, I must also acknowledge the very special role of Dr. Gahur Rizvi in this. Frankly, this film, since my association with it from 2018, would not have been possible without Dr. Rizvi's enormous patience, fortitude, and commitment to the project. Remember, this was made during the COVID years. This was made during a period in which travel was next to impossible. But despite that, everything to do with the film, Dr. Rizvi has had, shall we say, a benevolent and fatherly impact on the entirety of the production process. Beyond that, the fact that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Government of India, has been deeply committed to this film. The notion that a film that tells the story of Bangladesh and indeed the abiding honor that the government and people of India have had in being a part of that story, as Munadi has so graciously mentioned, is very important to us too. And having that story told through a partnership that, as you will see, is entirely a Bangladeshi project. The film, every one of the actors, to get the accent exactly right, they are Bangladeshi cast. To have Sham Babu be part of directing it and to have him listen and to understand and absorb and adapt every bit of nuance from the Bangla perspective was a really important part of this entire effort. And so, now that the film is ready, it is a great delight to be part of it. To all those of you who have come to see this film, you are truly going to be witness to this piece of history. And I welcome you to this, and I urge you to convey to everyone who has not seen it how much they missed out being witnesses to history. Thank you very much.